you have to start asking yourself the right questions, the how questions. How can I make more money? Where is money being spent right now? Because you need to be, you can't shut yourself in. And that's what a lot of people did in 2020. They shut themselves down and think, okay, let me just wait and see what happens. Okay, we waited for a month or two, or, 3 months maybe. Then you have to get back on the train because the world is not going to stop spinning because you're out of a job.
Well, I am Cecile Watson. We're back again for another episode of Ladies Speaking. This is our sixth episode. And today we have Sandra Baptist, a friend, a colleague, a sister entrepreneur from Antigua. And today we want to unpack some of the challenges that women have with treating with money, especially during the pandemic. Sandra,
Mm.
you would have seen in the bio who Sandra is. She is a chartered accountant, but she's multifaceted, multidimensional. That's how I describe her, because she not only does she do accounting, but she has been working with entrepreneurs over the last many years, and she also sits on the Financial Service Commission Board in Antigua. Sandra has also written a couple books. And so I guess when I look in terms of her persona, it is all with a charge to empowering women. And that's why she's such a perfect fit for this session. But April is Financial Literacy.
Mm.
And you may not know this, but a couple years ago, I did a certification as a financial education instructor. But what drew me into that space was because I recognized that we as women, and especially Caribbean women, have a problem talking about money. We don't ask for what we think we're worth. We don't share some of our challenges with making money, and we kind of close down. Even among spouses, it is apparent that there's not a lot of dialogue about money, etc. But yet, the statistics tell us that 80% of men die married, whereas 80% of women die single. So, what does that mean? It means that many men are leaving their spouses behind. And sometimes in many of these relationships, you will find that the men take care of the money. So the women, either through divorce, separation, or death, find themselves straddled with an issue of how to manage money. So welcome, Sandra. How are you doing?
Thank you, Cecile. I'm good. Nice to see all you ladies are.
As a chartered accountant, you work a lot with money for businesses and people on the professional side. In the post that I've sent out, I said we need to be talking about making money. We need to be talking about keeping money. We need to be talking about growing money. You whittle it down to attracting, attaining, and growing money. And I want us to really focus specifically on that. But first, tell us about Sandra Baptist and why have you gone into this space?
So I certified in 1998. I went to college in England, did a degree, accounting and financial management. Then I worked for one of the auditing firms, one of the big 10 auditing firms here in Antigua. After that, I went to another private sector employer, a big conglomerate. And after 7 years, I think I do things in seven because I worked 7 years as an auditor and then 7 years at that thing. And then I decided, listen, I can't go any further. I'm going to take the leap. So I took the leap into entrepreneurship. And it was very scary, but I decided this was the date I was doing it. And this was the date I did it. It was scary because no one in my immediate family is an entrepreneur. We are all, professionals. My father is an accountant. My brother is in IT. So I didn't have any mentors around, not even on island. And so I did a lot of research, I did a lot of coaching, I did a lot of certifications overseas with the intention of helping others here in the Caribbean, as you know, in Antigua and the wider Caribbean. So that's how I really became enthralled with entrepreneurship. I find it fascinating. But entrepreneurship is, for me, it's a way of doing. Yes, there's business and there's entrepreneurship. So I really want to get us here in the Caribbean in tune with that mindset of even you may not want to be a Richard Branson or something like that, but I really want us here in the Caribbean to take that leap for ourselves, who is not an entrepreneur, have the entrepreneur um, thinking in the way of managing money, managing your own resources, making more wealth, attracting more wealth. That for me is our my focus really, and hence here I am.
So in your mind, is everyone cut out to be an entrepreneur?
I don't think everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur. I don't think I was cut out to be an entrepreneur, to be honest. And I was very scared because
Yes.
it's not something, I did the degree, I did A levels, I did the degree, I did the professional certification, and that's really I guess how I was brought up. But no, and also because of the internet, it's entrepreneurship it's not a sexy word, um, but it's everyone now it's talking about entrepreneurship when in fact it has been here for a while. But I think because of the internet, a lot of people have the opportunity to become entrepreneurs. And even though if you may have your own job, but even if you want to set up a small business for yourself, you can do it at home. Where once you get those funds, yes, you can start investing and saving, that sort of thing. But I guess we'll get into that. But I don't think everybody can be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is a scary deal, I'm telling you. It's a really scary deal. And depends on how you set up your business, set up your company. It's on 24/7, whereas, when I was an employee, it was, yeah, I mean, I would probably work maybe until 7, 8 to 7, or, but I can switch off. Even if I leave the office, it's about, okay, how are we bringing in money this week? What are we going to do this week? How much funds do I have? Do I have money for payroll? Do I have money for taxes? So it's always going. And some people are just not cut out for it.
Right. So I read that the pandemic has been especially unkind to women who are employed. I think they said 55% or so of women in the U.S. were impacted in terms of job loss compared to a much lower level of men.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know the numbers for the Caribbean, but we do know that anywhere between 40 to 50%, depending on the Caribbean country, of the workforce are made up of women.
Right.
Yet women tend to make so much less than men. We know and the gap differential is closing, but it's not closing fast enough. Another important statistic is that 82% of women on average earn about 82% of the equivalent of their male counterpart.
Right.
So over a 40-year career, that's saying that men are pulling in close to $1 million more than women who are able to do the very same thing that they do. And sometimes we do even better because we are motivated, we know that we're starting behind the 8 ball. In your experience, in your experience with your customers, I believe you have a number of entrepreneurs who are clients. I don't know what's the level of interface with women on a personal level. In your experience, how money savvy have you found the women to be?
You're right. Strangely enough, let me tell you, because I don't think your audience knows that I have an auditing firm. So that's my corporate side, and then I have my entrepreneurial side, where the small businesses and on entrepreneurs do I service. So on my corporate side, I'm actually struggling to think of any women. I think maybe one or two of all the clients I've had, maybe one or two women run the business or run the show. The rest are men. Even if I may deal with women at a management level, or you could have a husband and wife, but the husband is in charge, and the wife is the support. So I have it's been interesting for me, and when now going in on the entrepreneurship side, you talked about the wing program that we're in, the World Bank program. Of course, that was all women. Um, there are a lot of I focus a lot on women, because especially because of the fact, as you said, I mean, we work for 82% of 82 cents of every dollar that man works for. But for me, women are the cornerstone. Women, majority of the time, have to look after the kids. So that we're working in our business, one, we're looking after the kids too. And especially in this COVID time, you have women that, yes, we had to leave the workforce, because who's going to look after our kids, you know? So yes, the men could be out there working, but we women, we have to focus on our kids, we have to focus on the business, we have to focus on the home. So there's a lot more that women need to do, and I think women need a lot of support, and they need to get focused on, yes, you may have a husband and wife team, but I think I always say, I don't want to offend any married people in here, but I always believe that women need to have their own money. So regardless of if you're a team, if you're a husband and wife team, or it's you and your counterpart or whatever, I always believe that women need to have their own money, because you don't want to have this person in charge of your money, because of course whoever controls the purse controls you. You can't make any decisions for yourself. You can't make any decisions for your kids, or the whole, without asking. I have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with that. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's the way I see it. That I think, and that is why COVID has hit women hard, because majority of the times, if you're earning, if you're earning $2,000 or whatever it is, to pay somebody to look after your kids while you're working, you might as well stay home and look after those kids. You know what I mean, and find something else to do. A lot of the women have left the workforce because of COVID, and I think, I don't want to say that it's I think it has been an opportunity,
Mhm.
because um you leave the workforce, you start to think, okay, how can I make more money? And that's where the entrepreneurship spirit in you, the wheels start turning, because before you were clocking in and clocking in, clocking in, clocking out. Now you're thinking, okay, how can I make more money? And we have to ask ourselves those questions, instead of, why am I doing this? What am I gonna do? Woe is me. How You have to ask the how questions. Okay, I lost my job, or I'm working less hours, or I'm on days. How can I make some more money? We have to start asking the right questions.
So that's a great segue into talking about attracting more income, because everything you said there's so on point. Women control, whether they are um, dependent on a secondary income or not, they still control a lot of the household budget.
Exactly.
The statistics I saw was 80%. They're the
Mm-hmm.
ones who make sure that the kids get to the doctor. They're the ones who
Mm-hmm.
make sure that there's money, there's food in the pantry. A lot of I was part of the Women's Entrepreneurship Day movement at one point, and so you, Sandra, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that
Mm-hmm.
understanding that when you empower women to in terms of their ability to earn, it goes back into the family, and as
Exactly.
families get empowered, communities get empowered, nations get
Exactly.
empowered, gets empowered. So that's why I
Exactly.
want us to talk now about the women who have been who have had their world shaken by the pandemic and are now finding themselves having to go out and find another source of income? How do we attract new funds, new income in an era when companies are retrenching and or the corporate world as we know it has shifted?
So I'm going to give you a different take on it. I'm in a couple of mastermind groups, accelerators, with US-based strategies. And in their world, nothing has changed.
Tell me about that.
So yeah, so that was a mindset shift for me, and that's why I decide, okay, I need to make this investment, and it's a few hundreds of US dollars a month. But I wanted to make that investment because I myself wanted that mindset shift. And in my world, last year was the best year we had. Last year was the best year we had because I started my business in 2006. And remember what happened in 2007, 2008. So that was the recession. So, right. So that shook me. I literally nearly went back, and sent in my resume to get a job. That shook me because I just started. I was with a partner. We invested in a big office. We invested in hundreds of thousands of furniture. We invested in all sorts of these things in 2007. So when that hit, my whole world I said, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And I made the decision that I am not going to go through that situation again. So I started, everybody's on the internet. So I started joining groups. Some were free, of course, because I didn't have the funds at that time. At that time, clients were closing their doors and that sort of thing. So I started joining groups because I said, I need to get out of this. How do I get out of this situation? My clients are closing their doors and that sort of thing. And one of the groups that I was in, the coach said, yes, the economy is thinking, but there's a lot of money spinning around the globe. The amount of money that is spinning around the globe has not changed. It's just being diverted to other people. So I thought, okay, wait a minute, something. There's a whole mindset shift. I thought, okay, wait a minute. And this is why I joined this other group. I just joined in January, I think it was, end of January. And she's saying the same thing. They have had the busiest 2020. And she's been in business for, I think, like 15 years or whatever. And she's had the busiest 2020 because a lot of people recognize that, listen, they can't depend on their employer. They want to jump into business quickly. They have to jump into the business quickly. They have to, because of course, bills are still coming in. They still have the kids to feed, blah, 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 blah. They want to set up their own business and they need to set it up now. Mm-hmm. They need to attract money now. So, they're jumping into different businesses. They have to learn quickly, launch businesses, attract money quickly to fill that gap where, their corporate job could not fill. Mm-hmm. So as I said, there's a whole mindset shift. So when I joined this group and she said the exact same thing, there's the same amount of money floating around the world. She said, look at all those private jets. And of course, the only people, when we were on lockdown in 2020, the only planes coming in here in 2020 was the private jets. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, she's right. She's kind of right. So the money has shifted. So what she said is, stop focusing on people that don't have the money. Start changing your offerings to those people that have the money. It could be corporate or it could be the affluent. But stop focusing on and stop begging people to buy your products and services that don't have money. Okay.
What should they be doing now to attract more money?
Retooling. That's the exact thing I did in 2008, retool. And that's when I started going into coaching and learning about, getting certifications. So if you're in retirement or, you've lost your job or, you need no money, how do you attract money? First of all, you have to have a mindset that there's money out there. That's the first thing, because some people have not changed their lifestyle. So you have to first have that mindset that there's money out there to be made and ask the question, how can I make that money? How can I make that money? What are people looking for now, and how does it tie in with my skills? Right? So whereas before you were in a corporate job, I don't know what you'll be doing, but whatever it is you'll be doing, how can I translate that into making that offering for business people or corporate people? I could be an admin assistant. They're virtual admins all around the world making a lot of money. It could be, a server, a waitress or something. How can I make more money? I could be delivering meals. I could do meals at home. But you have to start asking yourself the right questions, the how questions. How can I make more money? Where is money being spent right now? Because you need to be, you can't shut yourself in. And that's what a lot of people did in 2020. They shut themselves down and think, okay, let me just wait and see what happens. Okay, we waited for a month or two, or, 3 months maybe. Then you have to get back on the train, because the world is not going to stop spinning because you're out of a job. People still need goods. People still need to eat. People still need this, that. So you need to figure out, what is it that people need now? How does it tie in with my skills? Everybody has a skill. Everybody has a skill. And the easiest job, I think, that women can, we're talking about women, so the easiest job that women can do right now is launch a consultancy. Everybody needs to learn something. There's something that you need. Making cakes. Um, you can learn how to dress women. You can learn how to, there's so many things that you can do that people are looking for. It's all to translate that into, because everything is now virtual. So translate it into, how can I offer this virtually, right?
But so the
Mm-hmm,
average woman who is leaving the workforce
mm-hmm.
and is, the how to's. I mean, how long should they expect to go through that how to search before they get to the point where there's new
No,
income coming?
you just gotta ask the question once. You just gotta ask the question once. This is all getting into the woo-woo, but I'm into a lot of mindset, because it's mindset that sort of saved me. I always thought that business was a male thing. This. Da, 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 da. No, it's a mindset thing. Get yourself in a quiet room. How can I make more money? And just listen, for the download, or listen for the ideas. Okay, I can do this. Okay, I can sell mangoes. I can make mango jam. I can do this. There's so many things out there that a lot of people want. You just need to ask, how can I make more money? And then, is it something that other people want? Mm-hmm,
So in terms of mindset, then,
mm-hmm.
how do you go about not only attaining that mindset but keeping it? Because everything comes and go. You've lost your job. Your
Yes,
children are at home driving you crazy, and they
yes,
have to be educated, right? You
yes.
never made enough money in the first place, right? And you're sitting now in a situation where, or you might still have a job and you're thankful for that, but the money is not flowing in fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
What should the women be doing to move to bring in more money at this point in time? You've gone through the how, and then you've got to activate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit on too long, right?
Mm-hmm. Nope. So you went through the how, right? Once you get that idea, right? Say the only thing I can do is I have a mango tree, or I have a banana tree. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat. So um I'm breaking this down to the bare minimums. The bare minimums. Um so let's take, a mango vendor, right? I have a mango tree. I've lost my job. My kids need to go to school. My kids need to eat. I have a mango tree, right? Um, how can I make more money? Okay, I have a mango tree. What can I do? right? I always tell my son when he's studying for CXC now. So the six questions: who, what, where, when, how, why. So
Never
how
fails. Never
never fail,
fails you.
never fail.
Yeah.
So the how, okay, so I can sell mangoes. Okay, where am I gonna do it? Okay, I need to go to one of the, the busy intersections or something. I can do that. Um, well, we know the why because we need to make money, right? So the why, we have the why covered. When am I going to, I can start tomorrow. I need to get some mangoes off the tree. I can start selling some mangoes every day. I don't want, that can bring in maybe $50 a day, $100 a day. I don't know. And so once you start accumulating some money, attracting some money, the important thing, and this is where we all go wrong, and trust me, I went wrong too. I thought, oh, I'm an accountant, I know. No, what this entrepreneurship, it's crazy. So once we start bringing in money, it could be, $50 a day. You have to learn to pay yourself first. I know
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a big cliche. We have to start paying ourselves first. And what does that mean? That means I brought in $50 a day, I'm going to keep five. My bills are $100, the bills are not going anywhere. I'm going to keep five. So I'm going to go down to the credit union and open an account. I'm going to put my 5 by 5, 5 days a week or 6 days a week, my $30 on,
Mhm.
right?
That's
I
a
have to keep
yeah.
some. And that's a
Yes.
mindset. And that is something that, because after my 2008 issue, and I could say issue, wasn't a problem, big learning experience. After my 2008 issue, I said, you know what, the bills will always be there. Let me start
Mhm.
putting this aside. So a percentage of all the clients that pay me, I put something aside.
Yeah.
I may go
You
back
know,
to it, if no clients think, but I have something aside. And then that changes your whole mindset because you start to breathe. And it's okay, I have something here. It's
yeah,
you have, yeah. Sorry, go
that's
ahead.
very interesting. That's very interesting because in the pandemic, if I look back over the last year, one of the things that happened for me coming in the pandemic was I started paying myself. I started the
Mm,
3 years ago, hadn't paid myself for the first two, and I started paying
mm,
myself in the pandemic. And I
yes,
felt like a queen.
yes,
The
yes,
money I was paying was not a lot, but just
yes.
that making that effort to
Mm-hmm,
recognize
mm-hmm,
my effort and saying, you deserve this.
yes.
And so
And
I've been able to keep on doing it, you
yes.
know? So you're right, the mindset and the courage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it is all about courage because we have the landlord banging on our doors, we have the bank banging on our doors, we have this body, that body. And you know what? That's fine. They're gonna bang on my doors next week, but I'm gonna give myself this $5 today.
Yes, that's
And
a
as
very,
you
very,
said, it takes courage, and it takes, I think, um, and this is getting into, all sort of mindset stuff, especially for Black people and Black women. I think that we have a lot of shame and guilt around, keeping money, because yes, we need to pay that bill for, so they can stop bothering us. But yeah, after you pay that bill, what happens? There's still nothing in your account. So
so
keep that $5.
so you've done a lot of these sessions with masterminds and stuff with people from around the globe and stuff. Let's talk about shame and guilt.
Mm.
And
Oh my. Yep.
what's holding us back from living that abundant life,
Mm-hmm.
as whether it is that we're still employed and we are not making enough to accomplish our goals.
Mm-hmm.
um, how does that factor in terms of keeping the money?
Yes. So you said it right in that question. It's shame, and it's most of it's guilt. Um, it's, you earn $100 a day, and you give everybody that $100 before you give yourself even a dollar or $5.
Mm.
That's saying to yourself, you may think, oh, I'm paying my bills, but that's saying to you that you're not important. I'm not important. I'm literally working for other people. But what about me?
What about me?
So it's all, yeah, it comes back to guilt of having money, and as Black people, how we were raised, and it's all about nobody's supposed to know that this, and nobody's supposed to know about that, and blah blah blah. It's we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, I think, and think, listen, what am I working for? And this, I went through a few years of this, because at one time I had a team of about 5 or 6 people, employees, not a team, and paid employees. And after a while, I started to get resentful. I thought, wait a minute, these people are getting paid on the 15th and the 31st of each month, and I ain't getting nothing. Because, of course, they're employees, they have to be paid. I thought, what the?
And
Outrageous.
isn't it something how payday comes really fast when you were paying the money?
Fast.
And really when you are expecting to receive.
And they always know that payday is coming on Thursday or Wednesday or Friday. And you're thinking, oh God, how am I going to get enough for payroll? I said, I'm not going through that again. I'm not going through that again. Nope. Mm-hmm. So, at this point, yes, I have a team, but I have one employee. Well, 2 employees, including myself. Mm-hmm. So those are the 2 getting paid first. So, right. You know what I mean? My assistant. But it was a time that I went through that, okay, just to keep them happy, they're going to be paid, and they're paid on time. And after that, I was thinking, I'm doing the most work around here, because I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're off and they're on the beach on their vacation, or they are on the beach on the weekends or whatever. And I'm working and I'm not getting paid. So I said, no, enough. And it all comes down to the guilt. Yes, okay, yes, I'm doing enough, but yes, I want to keep them happy. Yeah, I thought, no, you know what? I prefer to do an hour's work and me get a little something, because I'm doing the most work.
What you're saying is that I think they say you don't hang your hat where you can't reach. That's what the Jamaicans say, I guess. You don't.
What does that mean? I never heard that one, I don't think.
You try so hard to grow this big thing that you can't manage, as opposed to scaling up at a pace that allows you, as the individual behind the movement, to also attain some output from the efforts that you're
from the effort.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So what about the women who are still employed, or they're professionals even? They have their lawyers, doctors, they're those as well. And they're in this season where everything is so uncertain. How should they be positioning to keep more money, attain more money?
Right. So money goes where it's invited.
Where is what?
Invited.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
Write that down. Write that down. Money goes where it's invited. And I have a quote for you. Let me tell you this quote before I forget. So it says, if you can't manage $1,000, you can't manage $10,000. You don't suddenly learn how to handle money by amassing more of it. This is why a lot of lottery winners lose it all. Financial literacy is not a side effect of wealth. Wealth is a side effect of financial literacy. So, people get, when you're employed, you get bonuses, and then you buy a new car, or you get a raise, and the first thing you do is buy a new car. That's not inviting money into your life.
When you say that, Sandra, it triggered a memory for me, because I used to work with CIBC back in the day, and I remember one of their packages was they would match any money that you put aside. I think it was like up to 6% of your salary you can set aside as a saving, and they would match up to that 6%. You would be surprised how many people did not take advantage of something like that. They
That's
just,
free money.
yeah, because cash flow for them was more important than creating wealth. Not having the benefit of the money mindset that says you have to attract, you have to invite the wealth in. This is free money.
Free money.
This is free money.
It's free money. If it's free money,
You know?
take it. Take it.
Tighten your belt and take the free money, right?
Sometimes it could be, $10 everybody should just run a calculate. If I save $10 a week, after a year, how much do I have? And this is why we complain that the rich get richer, but at least they're putting aside something, even if it's
Right.
1% or 2% or
Right.
3%, could be $5.
But you made a very important point in your quote, because you're saying when you gain, we could go out and we can start business, sell those mangoes and bring in a whole heap of money. But unless we have the financial literacy, that money is going to float as fast as it
It's
came
gonna go out. It's gonna go
in,
out.
right?
And everybody needs to read. There's a great book I read, and I read this when I was still in corporate, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Uh-huh. Read it.
It's a small book. You read it? Good. Small
Yes.
book. Everybody needs to read that book.
Yes.
Everybody needs to read that book.
Another book that I read when I was in my 20s, or I think early 30s, was The Wealthy Barber. And
I've never heard of that one.
his thing was, you pay that 10%. You pay yourself, the first 10% goes to you. Right? And it really is a discipline in terms of how you operate, even in terms of if you're still drawing a salary. Because when you draw that salary, you still got to take care of the household and all those kind of stuff. But you got to create,
you have to pay yourself first. When I heard that, I thought, yeah, I'm paying myself.
Yeah.
You have to pay yourself first.
Yeah, I saw a video just recently, Sandra, by Steve Harvey. And he was talking about, he said the best financial advice he ever got was from a financial planner who said, and this is for spouses now, you should have 4 bank accounts. One, the money comes into, and that is for your savings, basically. You have a separate account that is for infrastructure. By the infrastructure, that's where you fix the roof, you pay the mortgage, whatever. Third account is for you, the man, and the fourth account is for you, the woman. And what is your personal account? Because you raised this earlier, you said everybody should have their own money. That is your money to spend. And it is agreed between all parties. This is how it goes. So if I come in with nail polish and my long hair and whatever,
don't ask me no question. I have my own money.
Right? This is what we've agreed to. But you also have an agreement in terms of how you're spending that core money to advance the needs of the family and to create wealth, right? Because it is also about how you save your money, how you invest your money, all those pieces come.
It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
It's how much you keep, right? All right. Before I open up to the floor, I want to talk about growing your money then, because we talk about inviting it in. We talk about that whole notion of having to go after, we call it passive income, right? I advocate that even when you are in that corporate job now, that you start, as you say, go into that room, quiet room, and think about how you can start bringing in extra money with your corporate job. The technology permits it today. You just have to invest
Technology
more
permits it.
Right?
Yes. You have to decide what you want. I mean, some people may some people may want, big business. Some people may just want, an extra $100, to pay for school fees or whatever it is. But you have to decide what you want. A lot of us are going around doing what other people want, and that right there is the problem. So let me touch on just 2 things on growing your money. So yeah, the easiest thing to do is to start saving something. We talked about saving the 1% or the 2%. Try and get it up to 10%, 15%. Stop giving other people your money. How do we give other people our money? We just give them away as soon as it comes. Okay, this is my bills, and you hear people saying that I need money to pay my bills. I need to earn money to pay my bills. If you want money to pay your bills, that's all you're gonna get, money to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Right. So it's how we speak to ourselves. It's how we learning. Go to YouTube. I tell my son this all the time. You all have all the resources in the world. Go to YouTube. Go to Amazon. Get some books on Kindle. Join some free books. Join some free groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, where they're talking about this. Get educated. One of my mentors, what did they say? You only make $200,000 a year because you're not aware of how to make $200,000 a month. Oh, okay. It's the awareness. If you're just in your little cocoon, if you're employed, you go to work, come home, 5 o'clock, TV, bed. Work, come home, 5 o'clock, TV, bed. Nothing's gonna change. And nothing ever changes. You're the one that has to change. So if you want change, you're the one that has to make the decision. Okay, I need to learn a bit more about this. Okay, I need to do this. I need to watch a couple YouTube videos a day. Get educated on what is it you want to do. Literally everything is free these days. Right? You can learn everything for free. Everything is on YouTube, Facebook, I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Take an hour, half an hour each day to learn about, something you want to do. Learn how to grow your income. A couple of ways to grow it. Investing, saving it. You have to try and keep your money close to you. Stop wasting your money. My big, I never used to carry cash. The little story. I never used to carry cash. And my cousin once, when my son was small, she said, "You're a mother, you have to carry cash." And I thought, do I? So I always used to carry just my checkbook. And for me, that is a way of saying, because I could easily, stop on the road and, buy something because they're taking cash. But I never have cash, so I don't buy it. So it helps me because I just take, you take check? No? Okay, I'm gone.
Yeah.
But I take cash, maybe $50, $100, because of course my son may want, money for school and that sort of thing. But that is my main way of keeping myself accountable. I carry my checkbook and my credit cards and maybe a $50 or $100 if emergency. That's it. I see people going into the bank, cashing their checks, and they have $2,000 on them. Of course, that's going to be spent by the time the 10th or the 15th of the month comes around. It's done. It's done. Stop carrying cash. Carry cards, carry checkbook, get online banking, set up standing orders. As soon as your money comes in, if you're an employee, so you know how much you get every month, every week, whatever it is, allocate 5%. For the first month or so, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But after a while, you become accustomed to having, instead of that 2,000, you have 1,950. And that $50 a month multiplied over the years, it's going to make you much richer. You're going to have to learn to start multiplying it. The bank is going to give you free interest, or the credit unions are going to give you free interest, or whatever it is. And after don't look at it. That's another thing I teach in my accelerator with, where we have the different bank accounts. Have a bank account at a bank all the way over there in the countryside. Don't have online banking. Don't look at it. So, you keep just putting money aside, and after a while, you say, "Oh my goodness, I have $30,000. Oh, I have $20,000. Don't look at it. Right?
Case discipline, and you mentioned one other thing. You said talk about being accountable, which is very important. You said, that was my way of being accountable.
Yeah.
I remember when my kids were small and we traveled. One of the things that we used to do, you get the moment you hit foreign, they want to go to Toys R Us and they
McDonald's and McDonald's. my son was McDonald's. So
I discovered a very important thing. Before I left home, I gave them money. I gave them a budget, and it was their money. And you would be surprised that when they came to spending their money, they were
no, when it's their money, no, they don't spend their money.
Exactly.
If you learn, they don't spend them.
Anyhow, time is flying, and I want to give the audience a chance to ask some questions if they have for you, Sandra. There's a lot to unpack in a very short space of time, but just opening the floor now to any questions. And I saw Donna I don't know if Donna is still there, but when you talked about starting with thinking about what it is that you can do, I know Donna has a book called what's in your house. I think that drives home that principle. It's because the conversation has been empowering and inspiring thoughts for the people who are present to think about their next step in making money, keeping money, and also growing their money. It is an area I think that we are really very deficient in, and I really like to see us having more conversations along this line. We couldn't get into a lot of the technical details today, of course, but we just want to trigger the thinking about how you are showing up in terms of you and your money relationship. Do you know as much as you should? You don't need to know everything, but you need to know the how, as Sandra says. You need to know, you need to get into that quiet space and ask yourself, how am I going to do this? And allow those downloads to come. And when they come,
take action. Because if you don't take action, somebody else will.
Somebody else
will. Your idea. Yeah.
Right. And so when you go out there and you start doing your investigation and you go do your research, don't get into analysis paralysis. Take action. You don't have to know everything and have it perfect. Just start moving in the right direction and everything will come together and find you where you are. When the student is ready, the teacher appears.
The teacher appears, yep.
With that, I want to thank Sandra for showing up this afternoon despite not feeling so well. I hope that this conversation that we have had today really has proven to be of good value to all of you who are in attendance. It has been my privilege to again bring another episode of Ladies Speaking to you. I am Cecile, and this episode is being sponsored by Great Way Consulting Company. That's my little baby. That's the other side of my business, where I work with clients to build better business and build business better. So until next month, the second Sunday of May, we'll be back together again for another important conversation with influential women of the Caribbean. Thank you all for being here. Until next time. Bye now.
Thank you all.
Thank you.